Hello, my friends, Liberty Gardening again, and I wanted to show you a book that I bought a long time ago. It's by the Grimm brothers. It's called Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. And if you don't know who the Grimm brothers are, they're the ones who wrote, I believe, Hansel and Gretel and many fairy tales. A lot of them were taken up with Disney and made into movies, but they changed the stories. They're pretty dark fairy tales, but they're pretty good. They got a lot of lessons in them. And one of the stories that, or one of the fairy tales that's in here, maybe a fable, I would say, it's called The Wolf and the Man. And I want to share this with you because it's very interesting. It shows you a lot about hunting and what goes through the mind of a hunter and a wolf that attacks him, and how the wolf gets suckered into attacking a hunter. I'm going to read a little bit. It's only one page. So I'm going to read it to you real quick and make some commentary at the end. It says, once on a time, the fox was talking to the wolf about the strength of men, how no animal could withstand him, and how all were obliged to employ cunning in order to preserve themselves from him. Then the wolf answered, if I had but the chance of seeing men for once, I would set on him all the same. I can help you with that, said the fox. Come to me early tomorrow morning, and I will show you one. The wolf presented himself early, and the fox took him out to the road by which the hunters went daily. First came an old charged soldier. Is that a man? Inquired the wolf. No, answered the fox, that was one. An old discharged soldier is no longer considered a man by the fox. Think about that. Either that soldier was very old, or maybe discharged by some sort of sickness or ailment that he no longer resembles a man. Or maybe the fox thinks that the younger man, the strength of the younger man is so much superior to the strength of the older man that the older man is no longer a threat. So he no longer considers him a man. I don't know. I kind of ponder on that line from the fox. But moving on. Afterwards came a little boy who was going to school. Is that a man? No, that is going to be one. So the fox acknowledges the little kid, even though no threat to them, will grow into a threat in the future. At length came a hunter with his double-barreled gun at his back and knife by his side. Said the fox to the wolf, look, there comes a man. You must attack him, but I will take myself off to my hole. The wolf then rushed on the man. When the hunter saw him, he said, it's a pity that I have not loaded with the bullet. So the guy's carrying buckshot, right? Or not even buckshot, just birdshot or something small. Aimed and fired his small shot in his face. The wolf made a very wry face, but did not let himself be frightened, and attacked him again, on which the hunter gave him the second barrel. The wolf swallowed his pain and rushed on the hunter, but he drew out his bright knife and gave him a few cuts with it, right and left, so that bleeding everywhere, he ran howling back to the fox. Well, brother wolf, said the fox, how have you got on with men? Well, replied the wolf, I never imagined the strength of man to be what it is. First, he took his stick from his shoulder and blew into it, and then something flew into my face, which tickled me terribly. Then he breathed once more into the stick, and it flew into my nose like lightning and hail. When I was quite close, he drew a white rib out of his side, and he beat me with it till I was all but left lying dead. See what a braggart you are, said the fox. You have overreached yourself. You throw your hatchet so far that you cannot fetch it back again. Interesting perspective on the wolf. He sees the hunter breathe into a stick. Basically, you're shooting, breathe out, boom, that one out. But still not deterred, you know. That's so natural in an animal, that attacks. They don't know what a bullet is. They don't know what the pellets are. So they keep on moving. Finally, he notices the hunter breathes out again into the stick and lets another volley of pellets go onto his face. And the way they describe the pellets coming into his nose like fire and hail. So it's just amazing. I wanted to bring that up to your attention because it mentions a couple of things that when I had one of my kids read the story, for example, they don't catch on to things like, I should have loaded bullet. When the hunter says, I should have loaded bullet, right? It's like, well, yeah, because he's carrying a shotgun with pellets, not a bullet. And obviously, if you hunt, you know that the bullet has a lot more penetration on big game than birdshot. So it's interesting, the perspective of the wolf and the perspective of the hunter. And the most interesting part is that of the comment that the fox makes about the soldier, the discharged soldier, that he no longer considers him a man. And I think this is somewhat maybe not the way the world sees older people, but I think in the natural world, that's how older people are seen, or older animals are seen as weak or no longer a threat. Think about that, you know. Our community, the ones those of us that hang around here, most people there a lot of them are over 30, a lot of them are over 40, some of them are nearing 50, some are over 50, and a lot of them are still talking a lot of game. But there are foxes out there that don't no longer consider you a man. That's interesting. And you know, you may, and this was a discharged soldier, and yet the young fox that's no longer a man. That's that he was a man once. It's very interesting. Anyway, if you want to read the story, it's online probably. It's called The Wolf and the Man, and it just there's a natural order, I suppose, and it cannot be altered. It cannot be faked. It cannot be. It is what it is. Once a male gets past his prime, it ceases to be a threat in many ways. And in humans, there's things, you know, that compensate for old age, like money and power, experience to some extent. But the reality of things is that nature is brutal and unforgiving. And when you look at the soldiers of today, the gangs, the potential enemies that you would have on their world without rule of law, I mean, it's barbarism, and most of the active players in that scenario are very young and strong. Thanks for watching, folks.